Welcome back. In our final segment of our exclusive KMMO coverage of Missouri River flooding version 2011, we continue downstream from the Brunswick area on toward Glasgow right now. As you can see, as we talked about in our last segment, the river not nearly as bad as it is up to the north. Well, at least it doesn't look that way. Unfortunately, as you can still see, we're dealing with a lot of seepwater. You can see in those fields below us where there are a little higher areas, and we're talking about variations in the ground of 3-4 inches where it still looks green, a little lower areas where there's water or has been water, those are yellow areas. Nonetheless, all those crops are total loss. Yes, you don't see the river flooding those areas, but there's plenty of moisture there when it comes back to, and again, we repeat, talking about seepwater, where that water is just as dangerous and just as deadly as if the water came out of the Missouri River itself. Right now, flying down the river, you look below us, you can see the Glasgow Bridge in the city of Glasgow. And continuing on south of Glasgow right now toward the Rocheport area, there's an area right now that you can see that has been basically with water over it, that there is nothing growing there right now. That is a dead area, if you will, off the Missouri River. Right now you can see some of those homes, but also you can see so much water still out there a ways away from the river. And again, in some instances, water going from bluff to bluff, whether it be in the form of flood water from the Missouri River where levees have been breached, and or that seep water that is backed up in those areas that has caused this problem. That's always going to be a problem on the Missouri River when it runs this high and this long. Again, we continue on down toward the Overton-Rocheport area on the Missouri River. One of the things you'll notice in the Missouri River, especially as you get on south of the, say, the Boonville area, you'll see that river start to widen out a little bit, and the flooding has not been nearly as intense, or the strain on the levees quite as intense as it has been up on the northern part, or the western part of the Missouri River at this point in time. Although you cannot see it in the background at the top of your screen on that south part of that area, I-70 runs through that area still to the north of the Missouri River as we continue our way down toward Boonville. As you can see, some of those areas quite a ways away in those large fields from the river, still water backed up there. Those areas, just like areas back upstream on the river, will end up being a total loss. They may not be dead right now, but by the time harvest season comes around, they will not be worth harvesting at this point in time. But as you can see, the water not putting near the pressure on these levees as it was upstream when you get back around that Waukenda area and back up in southern parts of Carroll County. This area that you're looking at below us, ironically enough, before the 1993 flood, that was all farm ground. That was bought out from U.S. Fish and Wildlife to turn back over to nature. That's why you see all those trees. But at one time, that was very fertile farmland. Looking back upriver, you can see a river dumping in there. That's actually the Lamine River. That's where I-70 crosses, and you'll see that down. If you've never seen that perspective, that's where the Lamine River dumps in on the south side of the Missouri River. You see a railroad bridge right there at the confluence of the Lamine and the Missouri River. As you just saw just a glimpse in the background, you saw the city of Boonville. Right now we're on the north side of the Missouri River, actually just to the south of Boonville right now, as we continue to come on down the river. There's a little barn right there where the water's creeping at its door also, just off the Missouri River. Again, right now we're coming up on Boonville. You can see the old bridge right there, and as we come up to the new, Highway 5 bridge right there at Boonville and continue on south of there. But again, yes, there's a lot of water in these bottoms too, as you can see, especially on the south side as we come up actually along I-70, that area that is now wetlands on either side of I-70 as you come off the bluff going toward Columbia. That's what we're talking about right now, that Overton Rocheport area. If you look on the what would be the south side of the river, that's all that wildlife area right now, which of course, as you see from I-70, continues to be underwater. Something that we didn't see anywhere else except for that area, you got a chance to see some of those sand barges and sand dredges still running along that Missouri River Bridge area along I-70. That is the I-70 Columbia Missouri River Bridge right now. You see where that dredge boat right there on the Missouri River right now. Hard to believe they would be out there, but yes, they are at this point in time. Well, we hope you enjoyed our coverage of the 2011 flood on the Missouri River. Again, thanks so much to Bo Riggins for making this possible, and hopefully you enjoyed that and learned a lot about what the flooding looks like on the Missouri River version 2011. We'll have more down the road, hopefully, when it dries up. For KMMO, I'm Brian Sowers.